Staying calm and cool in the toughest of situations, even when at the lowest of health, is arguably one of my biggest strengths when it comes to Apex Legends.
Nice. Right slow, I think, but you can do it. Nice.
Oh my.
But having come 5th place in a recent £50,000 Apex Legends UK Community Cup, I want to take a step back, reflect on my skills and the training, be open to feedback and refining my skills going forward, and do what we should always be trying to do: come back stronger. Big thanks to EA for sponsoring this video. If you'd like to join me on this journey and hop in yourself, download and play Apex Legends now at the link below.
Down two. Oh,
Lovely.
GG's. So where do we begin? It's always with mindset. Whether you're dropping in for the first time or clutching in the final circles, cool heads always have the advantage. Like in that opening clip, keeping cool pays massive dividends. Arguably, this is one of my biggest strengths. I can stay calm, cool, collected, especially under pressure, but there was a few moments in the training where I wasn't 100%. I need a little refresh, and I hope this little video will help you guys too. So let's go over some quick tips. I'd love to hear your own down in the comments below. 1. Don't get angry. If anger pops up, let it be and let it go. Just focus on doing your best. Breathe. Just a little more. We all do it, especially in tricky situations. We stop breathing as much. It sounds so obvious and simple, but it really does help. So try to be more aware of your own breathing. The best mindset tip and what this guide is really working towards is a growth mindset. How can I get better and improve? If upon losing a fight you lose your cool, perhaps resort to common rants, particularly about players sitting in a corner or using certain weapons, then you probably have a fixed mindset. It's not helping you, it's gotta change. Whether you're new to the game or like me looking to improve, it's good to be open to failing, sucking, and just not being the best version of yourself yet. And keeping an open mind that things can change in the future. My approach to help with this here will be dropping in hard, pushing more fights, while keeping in mind the goal of staying calm and cool. The more we do this, the more it feels familiar, and the easier it will be to stay calm and cool. So what can we combine with a good mindset? Well, we're going to begin with some positioning fundamentals. Positioning is everything, some would say. High ground is arguably among the strongest positions available. Well, as long as you can aim, of course.
She gone.
right underneath me.
I thought she shot at me. Just kill her, please. Oh my god.
Looking down on an opponent gives you a better view. Often it's much harder for them to aim up at you than it is to aim down below. But the reality is, it's the options that the position provides that is key, not just the high ground itself. Giving up those options is what cost us here. Lose high ground, out in the open, enemies peek over, and we were wiped. Mistakes were made. Throughout the training for the Cup, we made this mistake a few times. Not anymore though. Going forward, in any situation, you've got to recognize the options you have available to you, and more importantly, those of your opponents. It's all about trying to make the right play. Perhaps we could refine it down to answering 2 questions while in game. Where can my opponents come from, and how can we outplay them? Where can they come from here? Enemies called out by our teammate, it's a corridor, both teams could hold each other either side. How do we outplay them? Hold them in, of course. Grenades thrown, we use that to push an angle, damage is done, and we go in aggressive.
Downed one, downed one. I've got my ability on them, but they're gonna get ruined.
Hey, Brandon.
One, last guy, last guy.
Team wiped, done. These decisions from moment to moment, play by play, all build up to a satisfying final result. It is clear we can make the plays, it's just the consistency that needs some improvement. I'm sure many of you guys looking to improve probably feel something similar. So let's talk more in depth on that and what we could work on in a moment. Before that, just to let you know, the Poly Prowler Store event is kicking off until the 23rd. Enjoy limited time discounts on bundles and more as part of the Poly Prowler Store event. Check out legendary skins for Wattson, Missing Links, Ash Feline Foe, and Wraith Punk Prowler, with matching legendary weapon skins such as the Cyberclaw Vault, Pointed Question Flatline, and the Prismatic Wingman. Drop into Apex Legends and check out the store tab today. Well, like in the previous clip, we need to improve on map knowledge and use that against our opponents much more often. Easy tip. Never interrupt your enemies when they're making a mistake. Knowing there's a little corner to hide in, enemies will see my teammates first, and I can blast them from behind as they approach. Simple, but so effective. As you're going around the map, you need to be paying attention to these kind of places and spots and really take the map in. What can you do in these areas? Is this a corridor? Is this an open space? Can we use this high ground to our advantage? And when you're moving around the map and approaching other teams, try to think of these possibilities as well. If you see a team up on a hill, maybe think, you know what? Previously, another team did that and we got destroyed. Can we go a different route? Let's see what kind of plays we can make. When it comes to this, map knowledge is massive. It's really going to help you. Generally, we understood the map and how it flows quite well, but one thing I noticed about Apex, if players can hold an area, such as a corridor, or hold you on the edge of the storm coming in, they often will. That is something we need to anticipate more in games going forward. It's simply too strong of a tactic not to use. You got to keep that in mind in Apex. Being outside of the play area is incredibly detrimental to your survival, and every enemy team knows it. Now, another point, take the initiative. You've got to be confident in the plays you make. That comes with experience and time. You've got to try things. There was a few situations in the training where we hesitated just too much, and it really cost us. Like in this corridor clip here, we took the initiative, throwing in grenades, and really just going for it. Taking good peeks and pushing the final player when they were too busy, when they were making a mistake. They should have backed off. I'm going to improve on this by dropping into many areas. Not always taking safe drops, but going in and actually fighting. Rinse and repeat, and over time, you'll learn the map much quicker than being passive. Also, while doing that, there'll be plenty of opportunities to improve upon aim as well. This is where I'll be jumping into the practice range, and if you're looking to improve as well, you should too. Here I'll be focusing on learning recoil patterns of weapons, and this is really going to help with the mind game as well, or the mental game as I like to call it. By going through weapon by weapon, with and without various attachments, and getting a good feel for each and the various combinations, we'll become much more confident. Good tip here, don't go full auto. It is not the way. A rookie mistake I've made way too often. More tap and burst firing going forward. If you really want to improve your aim and target acquisition, this is definitely something I need to do. Get good at remembering where your center of the screen is. It sounds quite obvious, doesn't it? But it is true. The better you know where it is, the faster you'll be able to snap onto targets and track them as well. Secondly, just aim. No, really, just aim. Don't think too much about it, just do it, rinse and repeat, try to figure out your weaknesses. Maybe you don't focus enough, maybe you're over-aiming, under-aiming, maybe you're getting caught up in your peripheral vision too much. Trust me, just aim, just do the thing. We learn more by just doing it. Just force yourself to do it. If you see a player running across the screen and you're not so confident, just go for it. Just try it. Thirdly, which ties into my previous point, tracking targets is not my strongest point in this game. I need to learn more on how players move, the speed at which they do, and the potential movement possibilities. Tracking targets with your device of choice is one thing, whether that's a mouse or a controller, but knowing where they could go is a huge part of the battle when it comes to aiming. Anticipation is key, and I've got a lot of paying attention in game to do going forward. Quite simple really, isn't it? If you can anticipate their moves, the better your aim will be. Now let's talk a little bit about meta. This is by no means a full discussion here. I've got so much to learn. But let's start with some basics. Movement. Sliding, I felt was pretty good. Aiming while doing it wasn't so bad either. Definitely recommend those strategies. The doors I simply did not use enough. I got to work on my zipline plays, going up and down, forcing fights with and without those, and many other things too. That's a good point actually. You got to force more fights, take out one player, and then work on the rest of the squad. Combat in Apex often revolves around that. When one player is damaged or down, it fundamentally changes how either side approaches the other. I gotta understand this more and use it as I'm playing the game more often. There was way too much hesitation in our plays. I'm just being honest. Often, you gotta just push and make a play. If in your own gameplay, you're hesitating too much, make a decision, go with it, and work as you go along. Don't hesitate too much. It's gonna cost you. Hopping around, bouncing off walls, all plays I need to make more of and experiment with going forward. In a Battle Royale, communications is incredibly important. I actually thought we were pretty good as a team. We were clear, concise, had some banter, and keep it fun, while also being focused when needed. There was a lot of Apex Legends communications and language though, we simply just were not using. Perhaps more in my case than the other guys. I just don't know enough of it. That's gotta change. Characters, simply put, I gotta learn all the ins and outs of each character, their abilities, ultimates, the combinations they are most effective with, and all of those things. Weapons, I love sniping, but it's obvious there is much more combinations and metas I should be experimenting with. Going forward, I'll be doing just that. It's easy to sit here and talk about some of these things, but honestly, you learn best by doing it. Going through the motions, especially the emotions. Highly recommend recording and rewatching your own gameplay. You'd be surprised at the mistakes, the bad plays, and also the good plays you may have not quite picked up upon while playing live. Getting another's perspective on it too can really help. There is more to Apex Legends, of course. This is just scratching the surface. Some of my own thoughts and more towards my own gameplay, in all honesty. I hope you guys will join me on stream sometime soon and see the progress. Fingers crossed, I'm sure there will be some. Until then, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Do be sure to check out the link below and drop into Apex Legends. The Poly Prowler store event is kicking off until the 23rd. Enjoy limited time discounts on bundles and more as part of the Poly Prowler store event. Check out legendary skins for Watson, Missing Links, Ash, Feline Foe, and Wraith Punk Prowler, with matching legendary weapon skins such as the Cyberclaw Vault, Pointed Question Flatline, and the Prismatic Wingman. Drop into Apex Legends and check out the store tab today. Take it easy, guys. Catch you later.